Good morning, dragons! It's Question Friday, the day Miss Rudder answers real questions from real dragons!
Yay! As opposed to those imitation dragons.
Yeah, all those no fake dragons here,
Yeah.
thank you, yeah. All right, we've got some really great questions. Thank you guys for turning them in. Let's jump right in.
All right.
So, Miss Rudder, Faith wants to know, how long have you had this job?
So, if you're referring how long have I been at Carroll ISD, I've been here 12 years. This is my 12th year to be a Carroll Dragon. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know, librarian the
Aw.
whole time.
Nice. All right, Faith also wants to know what your favorite food is.
Well, if I had to pick one, probably pizza is my favorite.
Oh, such a good choice. And tomorrow is pizza day. This is getting uploaded on pizza day.
Yay!
Awesome. All right. So Faith and Charlotte want to know how old you are. 29, right?
Close, but, add a few years, so it's a little bit closer to, what is the number? Oh, 58. That's right.
Nice. Very
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. She's seasoned.
I am. I'm well seasoned.
There you go. I love it. All right. Faith, such a good question.
Very good.
All right. Miss Amelia wants to know, did you have a job before your job now at Carroll?
I did, actually. I've had several jobs. I've actually been working since I was about 16. So I worked at Burger King for a while when I was growing up, and then I did some other jobs. I worked at an amusement park for a while. That was a lot of fun. So I started in education back in 1986. And I worked for 5 years, and then I became a librarian and worked some more time. Then I took about a 7-year span off when I had my daughter, stayed home with her for a while, and then I opened up a decorative glass business. So it's like stained glass,
Cool.
but it was stained glass, etched glass, and then some faux glass, which is just a fancy word to mean fake.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Harry Potter's faux glass where you see your enemies in the mirror. Not so much.
Not so much.
Okay.
Not so much. But, maybe my next job could be that.
There you go.
You never know. And then
Library
I came back
wizard.
Exactly. Then I came back into the libraries, and I've been at Carroll for the last 12 years.
Very cool. I
Yes.
didn't know you did decorative glass.
I know. Who knew? But
That's
now
awesome.
they all know.
There you go. We've talked about decorative glass in class before. I can't remember what grade level. But you guys have seen it. We've talked about the really cool gallery down on Main Street. Have you been there?
I have.
It's a cool place.
It is a very cool place.
Very
Yeah.
neat. All right. Excellent question. Let's see. Carter wants to know, how long have you been at the South Lake Library? Do you want to talk a little bit about what Carter means?
Sure. Yes. So I do work part-time at the South Lake Library. In November, it will be 3 years, so quite a while. I enjoy my time there. It's a little different because public libraries are different than school libraries, but it's also the same. So it's just kind of nice to see both aspects of different kinds of libraries. So I enjoy it a lot, and I really like the people there. They're very nice.
They seem very nice.
Yes. And by the way, before I forget, any of you watching this, in fact, any of the students here at Johnson Elementary can get a South Lake Public Library card, even if you live in Grapevine. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. So your parents just need to go to the public library and let them know you are a student at Johnson, and you can get a free card. And normally it's like $25.
That's awesome. So wait, our students here at Johnson,
Yep.
if they live in Grapevine, but they go to school at Johnson,
Yes.
they could have 3 libraries be their library.
Grapevine, South Lake, and Johnson. Yes.
That is so cool.
That adds up to 3.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So this one didn't have a name on it, but I thought I'd put it in the video anyway because it was a cool question. How many years have you been a librarian?
I've been a librarian for 16 years. I actually started in Irving as a librarian there.
Cool.
At a school that was for K-5. And then, at the end of that, when I had my daughter and took some time off, and then I came here, and now I've been K-4. So I've always been in elementary.
Awesome. So when she says K-5, she means kindergarten through 5th grade.
Right.
Because, that's confusing sometimes to people that aren't teachers and don't speak teacher language.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have a whole nother language.
We
It's
do.
very confusing.
It is.
Yeah. Sophia and Layla want to know, what is your favorite book of all time?
See, that's an impossible question because there really is no such thing as my favorite book of all time. I can tell you what's my favorite that maybe I've read most recently, and that would be from this year's Bluebonnet list. It's called Refugee, and it tells the story of 3 different families as they are trying to immigrate from their home where things are really bad into a better place. But it was an amazing story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably, if I'm looking back at some other books I've read here, I almost never read the same book twice because there's so many things I want to read. If you look on my Goodreads list, I have about 1,300 titles of things I want to read.
And yes. Goodreads is the website where we've got all the books we've read and we can review them and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, 3rd and 4th grade, you guys are going to be doing something similar, but I'm not going to talk anything else about it.
Very, very exciting secret project.
Secret. That's
Is it a
right.
secret Seesaw project?
It could be.
It could be.
Oh. But moving on back to your question, because I don't want to get too far off topic.
Go ahead.
So, of the books here that I've read more than once, Surviving Antarctica is at the top of that list, and Home of the Brave, which is, oh my gosh, that's probably one of my favorite children's books of all time. And we have those copies here, so you're welcome to check them out.
So there you go. I love it. Mm-hmm. All right. Tyler wants to know, when did you start wanting to be a librarian?
So when I was in my 5th year of teaching, I was teaching a 4th grade class at that time. I had enjoyed it, and I had a good class. We blocked just like we do here. So I was a language arts teacher, and I worked with another teacher who was math science. And I was still enjoying it, but I became friends with the librarian there, and I thought I really felt a need to do something different, but I didn't know what that would be. And hanging out with her and hanging out in the library, remembering always how much I love to read, because I've always loved to read, I thought, what about being a librarian? What would that entail?
Yeah.
So I did some research, and I went back to school and got my library science degree from University of North Texas, and became a librarian. And yeah, I absolutely love it.
That's so
There's
cool.
nothing else I'd rather do.
Aww.
Yeah, that is very true.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, Mirabelle wants to know, did you or do you play any sports?
No. That's a really short hint. No, I'm not. I don't play. I don't watch. I don't read about. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all are great sports fans, and I respect that, but it's just not my thing.
Everybody has a different thing.
That's right. That's not my thing.
There you go. Let's see. Olivia wants to know, do you like your work and do you like kids?
I love my work, especially now that I'm not in the rotation.
She liked seeing you guys often, but
I do.
It's just not the same.
It is not the same. It was not the same at all last year. So I'm so much happier now that I'm not in rotation. I love my job. I'm always happy coming to work. It is a lot of work, and if you don't know, I'm often here very late. When I'm not at the public library. Exactly, yeah. So 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, you might find me up here still working, because there's just so much to do to maintain our collection. So yes, and likewise, I love kids. You know, maybe not so much when you're picking your nose. Yeah, you know, that's a little hard to get.
Nobody likes that.
No. But you know, when kids blow me kisses and just tell me how much they love reading, and yeah,
snuggles.
Yeah, snuggles. Nice, spontaneous hugging.
There you go.
That's always a good thing.
We love a snuggle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Abby wants to know, how many places have you lived?
Okay, so I've lived in 4 other places. After I graduated from high school, I moved to California, where I actually went to a drama school because I was going to be an actress.
Cool.
Because that was my first career path. So I went out there for about a year and then came back to Texas. I grew up in Houston. So I went back to Houston, and then from there, I eventually moved to, I went to Germany for about 6 months, lived there for a long time, enjoyed that. And then came back, and then went back again. And this time I lived in London, England. Loved London. Was there for 9 months. Would happily go back again. And then later on in my life, I moved to Maine. And Maine is by far my favorite place. I love Maine. I love snow. I love winter. I love cool weather. I love 4 seasons.
Actually having seasons.
Yeah, trees and clean air and all that stuff. So, less concrete.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
This was also a nameless question, but it was a really good one, so I'm putting it in anyway, but put your names on your questions.
Yes.
Somebody wants to know, how do you get the books organized so fast?
That's an excellent question, and I'll tell you, there's 2 things that make that happen. One, believe it or not, it is using your shelf markers. That makes all the difference in the world. When you use your shelf marker, it makes it so much easier for us to be able to, for you to put your book back where it belongs, and then that book stays in its correct place. So that's huge. The other, and I could not do my job without my volunteers. Those are your moms and maybe even sometimes dads who come in and help to put the books away and straighten the shelves, who help out at our book fair. We've got a book fair coming up, by the way, at the end of September. So yeah, I mean, really, it's my volunteers that keep me sane.
Yeah.
Yes.
It takes a lot of help to be able to do these big jobs.
Exactly. And if your parents want to volunteer, just tell them to contact me.
Yep.
Always
She's
need
got
help.
an email address.
I do.
It's on the website.
It is.
There you go.
Alrighty.
Okay. Reese wants to know what your favorite holiday is.
That's kind of difficult. Because it's not so much I like a holiday, I like holiday decorations. So I love Halloween decorations, and I really love Christmas decorations. So those are two, probably my favorite. Plus, it's getting cooler at that time of year, and
The bugs are dying off?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that really just makes it perfect.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Sabina wants to know, very last question,
Mm-hmm.
what is your favorite thing to have for lunch?
Favorite lunch? Wow. That one's a little tougher. If I'm buying the hot lunch, I think their spaghetti is always really good.
It is.
Yeah, so I will often get the spaghetti. If I'm bringing my lunch from home, truthfully, it just kind of depends on what's in my refrigerator.
Yeah.
It could be anything from a sandwich to an omelet I reheat when I get back to school, or, I mean...
Yeah.
It just depends,
Yeah.
how busy I've been.
Enjoy having your parents making your lunch while you can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're an adult and you're teaching, you gotta make your own lunch in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Y'all just get up and your lunch is magically made.
No, yeah.
It's
I have
wonderful.
4 cats. They don't ever offer to make my lunch.
Yeah.
It's so
What's
rude.
up with that?
It's so rude.
So rude.
They're just meow, meow, meow,
Yeah.
give me food, give me, but...
Well, y'all have met my cat, Seiji, the yelling cat in the hedgehog video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk about that.
I'm saying. All right. Anything else you want to share?
Yes, I do. So a couple things I'm really passionate about. First, I'm really passionate about the environment, and specifically recycling. So I really hope this year we'll be able to spend some time talking about what that should look like, recycling everything from papers to plastics. We have recycling bins, and it just makes me sad when I see things thrown in a trash can that don't need to be in the trash. They could actually go in the recycle bin. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about straws specifically, because plastic straws are not a good thing.
Yep.
But this isn't the forum for that. So we're going to move on to the next thing.
Maybe for Earth Day.
There we go. Or even sooner.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So sometimes there are books that nobody wants to read anymore. They're old. They've gone on to other things. And so these books need to be weeded from the collection. That's what we call it. And if we can give them away, we do that. We give them to the teachers. But sometimes even the teachers don't want some of these books. So technically they would go into a trash, but I recycle them, speaking of recycling, and I turn them into art. So I thought I would share with you a couple of pictures. So this is a book. Okay, as you can see, it does not have a pretty cover. So the first thing I do, I don't know if you can see the words, I've actually painted over the page so that I'm just prepping it, so I'm getting it ready. And then I start layering papers. So here's one that I did. I've painted it and cut papers out and glued it all down to this. And then I made it nice and sturdy by gluing those pages together. This book's not done, so eventually I'll go through and I will prep these other pages.
That's so cool.
Thank you. Here's a different one that I've done. Let's see. It really just depends on what inspires me. So again, a lot of times when I start, I'll take papers and I glue several of them together because I want them to have some background. Let's see, here we go. So here's one that I did.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, thank
Aww.
you. And then I did that one. And this little paper is just to keep the pages from sticking together.
Oh, sure, because paint gets sticky when it gets warm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then here's one that I'm kind of working on. This was, this is kind of
Cool.
cool. It says, librarian becomes...
Batgirl!
Yes, that's right. She's a librarian. She works for the Gotham City Public Library. So
There you
that
go.
was pretty fun.
Librarians are always heroes.
Exactly. And
sad.
then this last one I did,
I think this one might be my favorite.
she got to see them beforehand. So here's one that I did. Painted the pages.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And again, this page isn't done. So most of these are like works in progress.
That's so cool.
Okay, so
it's like a journal, but for art.
Yeah. And this one, see, okay, so this is a page that's being prepped. Okay, so I'm just prepping the paper, trying to figure out what I want to do with it. But this one, I did, that one's really busy. I'll scoot it up to the mirror.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
But then I glued all these pages together, and I cut into them so that I could make little drawers.
So cool. You can put your stuff in your book.
See, there we go. I put little drawers, and they're full of cool little things. I don't know if y'all can see all that stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
I love
And
it.
you know, it's a good use for something that nobody's going to read anyway.
Yeah.
So, and this way it doesn't end up in the trash or, you know, in the dumpster somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's art.
I love it. That's
anyway.
so cool.
That's a little bit about me.
I love it. Thank you so much, Miss Rudder.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for your wonderful questions, you guys. It was wonderful. I've enjoyed this very much, and I hope I will get invited to come back.
I hope so too, you guys. If you have questions about Miss Rudder or about any of the other teachers or people that work here at Johnson, you can either put them in the comments or you can write them down and put them in our question box like we talked about earlier this year. And we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye, Dragons.
TTFN. Ta-ta for now.